Dear December, I've been both dreading and eagerly anticipating your arrival. I got laid off at the end of November, and this Monday, December 1st, 2025, is the first day of my fun employment chapter. I feel lost, but also excited. I've been wanting rest for a very long time now, and now that I have the time, I don't really know what to do with myself. But I'm hopeful that I can make a lot out of it. Please treat me well. Sincerely, Rebecca. First, some context. This is my bullet journal, but it's probably more apt to call it an art journal because I don't do much actual bullet journaling here. It's more so a medium for me to exercise my creativity and fill my time with something other than zoning out to Netflix. I do create trackers that are often used in bullet journals, and I used to do weekly spreads, but that hasn't happened for the past few months because I use a separate journal now to keep track of actual tasks. I find that I am most consistent with this journal if I keep it to just the monthly tracker spreads. This hotpot theme is definitely outside of my comfort zone. I prefer color themes that don't have too much variation in color, and I like more muted and pastel shades rather than bright, bold colors. But I don't want to shy away from trying new things, so I went for it. Spoiler alert, I do not like how the cover page turned out because my perspective is off and I'm not a huge fan of the colors I selected, but I still want to share how it turned out because journaling is not about perfection or even the end results. It's more about the process and what you learn along the way about yourself. Journaling is something I turn to when I'm upset or need to process a recent event, like a layoff. It helps me make sense of my situation, accept it, and figure out next steps. My art journal here helps me focus on something besides the problem at hand, and I have a journal that I write diary-like entries in when I really need to dig in and introspect about life. I got inspiration for this month's theme after spending some time at home with my family. My brother was in town from Seattle, so it was a nice little family reunion. This was after I got the news of my layoff. I was given 4 weeks' notice, which is better than 2. But for me, who had been fantasizing about quitting for a long time, part of me wished that I was let go as soon as I was told the news, so I wouldn't have to keep up pretenses at work. I'll be honest, I had been quiet quitting for a while, which is why it was surprising to me when my initial reaction to the news was shame, sadness, and anxiety. I wanted to be free of this job, and I was looking forward to leaving, so why was I upset at being let go? I had to process this for a while, but now I know it's a completely normal reaction. This job was my livelihood. It paid my bills, put food on the table, a roof over my head. Of course I'm going to be anxious about being laid off. Duh. Even if I hated my job and my CEO, which was the main reason I detested working there, at least I had stability and security. I don't have the same degrees of that now that I'm jobless and incomeless, but I do still have a support system and savings. So I'm extremely lucky that I can deem this period as fun employment and think about having fun and taking time off to rest rather than scrambling to find a new job. I know this isn't the case for everyone or the majority of people who have lost their jobs in this economy, and I don't take that for granted. One of the biggest reasons why I've been able to shift slowly from feelings of gloom and doom to tentative excitement and anticipation is the support of my family. For some really quick context, I quit my first corporate job with no backup plan, and that deeply upset my parents. I was ready that time to leave, and I would say it was quite necessary for me to because I was deep in depression and at risk of hurting myself. My mental health was not there, and while leaving a toxic work environment did help, my anxiety definitely was not improved by my parents' reactions. I ended up spending 1.5 years unemployed and found a job in my most recent industry with my most recent employer. This time around, my parents are very accepting of what has happened. I think it helps that I did not voluntarily leave, but it's also because they're well aware of the job market and how abysmal it is, especially in tech where I worked in, where layoffs are happening left and right. I have been preparing them for the possibility of me being laid off for over a year since I did work at a startup and funding was, well, it was basically non existent. When I told them the news, my mom laughed and said, "Well, I guess it was time," and told me to focus on resting. My dad had a similar sentiment and even suggested I take a year off just to focus on my health, as I have various health issues and chronic conditions. Neither of them told me to start the job search immediately, which I was immensely thankful for. I most definitely need some time to rest and recalibrate. Since my brother was visiting home, I went back as well so we could spend time together as a whole unit. Something that's hard to come by since my brother is on the West Coast while we're on the East, and in the past few years we've had some family drama that's kept us all apart. But it was so sweet to be together again, and the very first meal we had together was hotpot. Hotpot is traditionally something we eat for Thanksgiving or as a celebratory meal. We're a Chinese family and we don't really care for turkey. We're more of a Napa cabbage, lamb, and hot broth kind of people. Hotpot holds many significant memories of immediate and extended family, as well as close friends around the dinner table, and it is a source of comfort and strength to me. After spending some extended time at home, I knew that in a time that seems very cold, dark, and bleak, with winter approaching and no job in sight or plan in sight for my future career, I wanted the last month of the year to embody the spirit of family, healing, and warmth, thus the birth of this hotpot theme. For my cover page, I tried my best here to draw a butane stove with a pot filled with the hot pot ingredients on top of it. This kind of stove is usually what hot pots are cooked on since multiple ingredients are put into the pot over a long duration of time, so there needs to be a steady fire to keep the broth hot enough to cook its contents. I usually sketch over my pencil sketch in black ink before I color in, but I wanted to see if I could get away with just going straight in with my Tombow brush pens. After coloring everything in, a lot of definition was lost in the drawing since I didn't do any shading to indicate depth or rounded corners, so I went back in with pen to fill in the outline. I never formally learned to draw, but I always wanted to be good at it, so this art journal is how I get myself to practice drawing consistently. Although I'm stretching the use of consistent here, I'm usually only sketching when I have to create my monthly spreads, which means I draw only about 2 to 3 days a month. It's better than no times at all, but I do want to increase the amount of days I spend sketching so I can get more comfortable with it. I wanted to be an artist when I was younger, but my parents believed in the starving artist stereotype and didn't support me pursuing an artistic career. Now, though, since I'm unwilling to continue in tech with the growing adoption of AI, and who knows what the white collar industry is going to become with AI getting smarter and smarter, I've been toying with the idea of finding a more creative career. And I know AI is coming for artists as well, which is truly unfortunate because art is such a human thing and it's part of human expression, and AI has no business doing it. But I feel like being able to create art can potentially open a lot of doors. I've seen a lot of artists become big thanks to social media, and I would be lying if I said I didn't dream about it or fantasize about it, and I know it's really difficult. But that's why I've started a YouTube channel, just to see where it goes, and the editing process has been fun for me, and so has obviously the journaling part been. The filming part, that's difficult, but I'm learning, and I always wanted to learn more about video editing and color grading and stuff like that, and I hope that I'll get to explore that in my free time now. But it's just something I'm exploring and am interested in and would like to see where it takes me. Realistically speaking, though, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere far with YouTube, or at least anytime soon. YouTube is really a grind and it's hard, and you got to be really lucky and also, I think, good at your craft. And from what I know, a lot of creators spend years building their channel, and I don't have years of savings. It's something that I fantasize about and hope could happen, but it's not something I'm banking on. Rather, I'm hoping that this process of journaling, being consistent with it, sharing it in terms of cool video editing, although my editing has a lot of work to do and room to grow, but just this process of getting something done will add some structure to my day, so I'm not stuck just zoning out to Netflix all hours of the day, because my eyes cannot take that. My eyes are so weak and they're so strained even after an hour of screen time, so I need something to take me away from like eyes glued to the screen. At least when I'm editing, like I tend to take breaks and stuff, so it's easier on my eyes. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. I want to give my unemployed day structure and purpose, and for right now, YouTube kind of fits the bill and keeps me busy. And it makes me happy because this is something that's genuinely fun for me to do as well. And I'm hoping as I have more time to brainstorm and work on my scripts and work on my drawing skills, who knows what I'll learn about what I want to do or what I could do. So it's just something I'm going to take day by day and try to have fun doing as well. It's a vibe. Can you tell I'm not happy with it? This ghosting drives me crazy. Mood trackers are always fun and somewhat frustrating for me to brainstorm. Since the purpose of this journal is for me to work my creative muscles, I always want to challenge myself to come up with a mood tracker I haven't seen before. Some months I succeed, other months I take inspiration from Pinterest. I had this idea of drawing a top-down view of a hotpot with various ingredients in it, and then I can make each ingredient a separate day. I went back and forth on this idea multiple times because I don't like it when colors don't make sense for the designated day. By that I mean, for example, if the 4th falls on a day depicted by a shiitake mushroom, but then the color signifying my mood for the day is red instead of brown, I end up with a red shiitake mushroom, or green lotus root, or an orange bok choy. And the thought irked me so much that I almost didn't go with this design. I'm the type of person that always has a right way of doing things, and coloring a slab of tofu red does not sit well with me. But in the spirit of trying new things and opening my mind up to possibilities, I went ahead with my original idea, allowing myself to not number the hotpot contents, so I can try to as closely match each day with the correct color if possible. So if I'm feeling super happy one day, and the color I've designated for super happy is green, I can color in a broccoli or bok choy on the tracker. That is, if any of those are still left. Of course, there's no way I've correctly predicted the correct colors or moods for each day, so I'll inevitably run into some quote-unquote wrong colors. I showed my brother this spread, and he told me to just color it in however it landed and see what happens. For all we know, it could look pretty cool. I'm reminding myself that art doesn't have to look realistic, and there's no right way of doing it. Anyway, the featured contents of this hotpot bowl are bok choy, shiitake, carrots, lotus roots, broccoli, slices of red meat, which could be lamb or pork or beef, shrimp balls, tofu, and sweet potato, all of which can go in hot pot and taste delicious. For my key, I'm showcasing just 5 of these ingredients to signify each mood, from super happy to super sad. I'm still debating whether I should number the actual ingredients because I also like to see over the course of time how my moods change. But I'm still undecided because I can't let go what the colors should be. So let me know if I should just let the colors land how they may and see how that looks. Now that I am editing the video and counting how many ingredients are in the pot, I realize that there are only 30 instead of 31. And I am trying to not let it get to me. I'm looking at my original sketches and I definitely only sketched 30 ingredients. So I either was thinking about the month of November or I was really out of it and thought December only had 30 days. So that's where I am at. And going to forgive myself for that and move on. For the habits tracker, I wanted to showcase some of my favorite hot pot ingredients. That would include naba cabbage, which is great at soaking up broth, although if you're using the spicy broth, sometimes the peppers and the spices can get caught up in the naba cabbage leaves and the creases of it, so you have to be careful when you're biting into it. Otherwise, you could end up with a mouth that's really numb because if it's using the Sichuan pepper, it's very numbing. Next is lotus root, which I used to not like because I found out there's two types of lotus root. There's one that's more chewy and soft and one that's crisp. And the crisp one, when you bite into it, the bite is so satisfying and it tastes great in hot pot, especially when you dip it into an accompanying sauce. Shiitake mushrooms absorb so much flavor, and a lot of people do this cute thing where they'll cut out a star out of the top of the shiitake mushroom so it looks cuter. And fun fact, I'm actually allergic to these now, or intolerant, sensitive, something. When I eat them, I get very, very bloated, but not the normal bloating. It's to the point where I can't breathe because my chest has expanded so much. It's like put pressure on my lungs or something, and I literally can't breathe. So I can't partake in them anymore, but they were great at retaining broth. Next, we have lamb slices, which are thin cuts of lamb meat. Usually there's a red meat that goes into hot pot, whether it's pork, beef, or lamb, or all three. My parents' hometown is known for their lamb, and I grew up eating it and I love it, and it's my preferred red meat of choice in hot pot. I know to some people it tastes gamey, but it's so good in a stew, and when you cook it just right, it's amazing. I don't actually know what this is called, either in English or Chinese, but it's some kind of fish cake with a stuffing inside. It's very chewy and spongy. The texture is like QQ. It's very good. Lastly, we have these money bags, which is basically a dumpling. It has a savory meat filling inside, and the outside is a tofu-like wrapper. And this is also very good at retaining broth. When you bite in, it's so hot, you have to be careful to not burn your tongue. But these things symbolize good luck, prosperity, and fortune in Chinese tradition. I have all these ideas for new and old hobbies I can pursue in the new year, but for this month, I want to be gentle with myself and focus on rest and relaxation. My last week working full-time was actually spent not working at all. I had previously taken PTO for the full week of Thanksgiving before I knew I was getting laid off, and my manager told me to go ahead and take it. She's the best manager I've ever had, and she made sure I was still paid for the time off. So technically, my last day working full-time was November 21st, and I've already had more than a week being unemployed. I spent that week with family and my partner's family, celebrating my partner's birthday, and also participating in Thanksgiving festivities. I was happy to not be working, but interestingly enough, I kept getting migraines all week. I didn't feel mentally stressed about being laid off anymore after having processed it for nearly 3 weeks, but clearly my body still wasn't done having a response to the change. Even now, as I'm editing, I'm feeling quite dizzy and nauseous, and it's driving me a little insane. I want to get on with enjoying my free time and making the most out of it. I want to do things. I want to see people, try new recipes, make more videos. I don't want to lounge around in bed or on the couch scrolling on my phone. But that's kind of what I've been doing for the past week and a half, and it's what my body needs. I've learned that if I just give my body the day or the week or even the season it needs to go on screensaver mode and operate at minimum capacity, it pays off in the long run. I return rested and excited about life. Again, I'm lucky. I have the luxury of time to rest and to heal, and I know not everyone has the same luxury. I know in the new year I want to think more about how I can give back and use my time to be more community oriented because I do have privilege and I do have savings and I can afford to spend my time volunteering rather than working for pay. But again, that's something I want to figure out in the new year. For this month, I just want to take the time to truly let go and accept that I need to slow down and just do the bare minimum for my body's sake, for my health's sake. If I do happen to have extra energy to pursue hobbies or have the extra mental capacity to think about what I'm going to do next in the future, I'll do that. But I don't want to put pressure on myself to figure anything out. I just want to enjoy the simple things in life, the warmth and coziness of my apartment, the leisure that comes now with having no deadlines or responsibilities, the company of my parents, who I'll get to see more now, and my partner, and the joys of reading a really good book. I'm currently reading Mars House at the recommendation of my friend, and I'm so pleased with the writing. I'm totally hooked. I'm really glad that the read time is like 9 hours because I'm really savoring my time with this book. So the habits I've committed to tracking for December are centered around things that make me happy and healthy, which are reading, art, no sugar, exercise, floss, and I. I is shorthand for days where I do not feel eye strain. That's because now that I no longer have to work, I'm filling in my work hours with Netflix, and it's really bad because my eyes are super weak, super strained, and I'm getting pretty close to legal blindness, so I need to tighten up, thus the new habit. To be honest, I don't feel mentally or physically at my best right now, but that's exactly what this month will be for. I'm grateful that I have the space to get myself together. It will be interesting for me to see how this month pans out, whether I can really honor my goals of resting and slowing down instead of panic chasing something I think I'm supposed to do out of anxiety rather than real intention. I know myself, and I know when January hits, I'm going to want to do everything and push myself to be productive as possible in every avenue of my life. I really do find new motivation and strength with each new year, so I don't have to worry about being a couch potato for too long. So I really need to capitalize on this last month of the year to prepare myself mentally, emotionally, and physically for all the things I want to accomplish in the new year. My tank is currently around 20%, and I want to get myself to a nice 80 or higher before 2026 arrives. This isn't going to be an easy feat for me since resting has never been a top priority of mine, and I am guilty of pursuing the productivity grind. But as I get older, I have gotten better at pursuing rest because, well, my body has kind of forced me to. It just can't take the same amount of abuse as it did in my younger years. But what I'm hoping for and shooting for is that not only will I actually rest, but that I can truly enjoy it as well. To my viewers, thank you for following along as I process and share what's been happening. I hope wherever you are in life that you are also able to find peace and rest this holiday season. There is so much going on in the world, and I know I'm not the only one facing unemployment or changing life circumstances. Whenever something upsetting happens to me, I turn to journaling as a quiet and safe space to process and plan. If you're craving more cozy journaling, please check out my other videos. I'll leave them linked on the screen. I hope you leave finding comfort and inspiration for your own journaling practice and self growth. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next.